after we creating that folder, the community school and the server, we have finished up setting up everything. The server inside the server, we have defined that we have connected to the database, and we have created the student model, and we have created the routers, right? And we are ready to accept any request from the client, and the server is happily respond that requests without requiring any authentication and authorization thing. Okay, we will deal later on in the another video how to deal with authentication and authorization using React and Node.js, right? Now let me close this one and come back to the client folder, and I have set that cd to client. Now for the client, we have used React, of course, but I prefer to use another framework called Prime React, which is a child of a giant Java Server Faces framework called Prime Faces. By the way, I highly recommend to use Java Server Faces and Spring framework, which I get. It is unbeatable framework when you develop a complex and enterprise systems. Now, once we are in the folder of the client, let me install some required functions of this Prime React. And I'm going to copy, or getting started, I'm going to copy these two things and paste over here. Let me wait it. It has finished. And the other thing in this thing we need we use is Axios. Yes, I'm right. So for the client, we need to use Axios, and the other one is React Router DOM. Just to interact with the router, the express router. Once we finish this one, let me go to another folder and copy paste thing I'm going to use in this primefaces.org/prime react. There are several things you can make. For instance, you can make, let me show you beautiful menus. The data table is very beautiful. This is a data table, and just you have to import from these things, and boom, you can use. This is a CRUD application. We can create by clicking this button, correct? Then I'm using these codes. There are 3 codes around here. You can copy paste and create a theme that you wish to create. Now I'm in this client and I'm on the app.js. So if you run up this one, you will find just a simple React logo. But I don't want those things and remove from these things, including the here, right? So let me save it, and I don't want to import everything else. Just these are enough. So the first thing is let me go to this folder frontend, and I have the app is look like here, and the first thing is to import these required things. Here, let me paste it. So I need the Prime React theme and some kind of CSS and some Prime icons CSS also. And I need browser router, routers, and route from the React router DOM. Let me save it. And in here, what I need another thing is, as you can see, there is a menu. So I have to define a menu JavaScript file. Okay, let me go to this source folder and create another folder called templates. So inside this template, let me create a folder called JavaScript file called menu.js. So inside this menu.js, I have some kind of codes. I need to import these things as usual. These things, paste. As you can see, I have imported the menu bar from Prime React menu bar, and I will show you how to use this one. And once you import everything that you need, and you have to call a function, create a function called menu, but it's return some kinds of things around here. Its return is a div and a menu bar. So inside here, just say return this kinds of div, and the menu bar will be returned. What is items? Now you have to define items around here. The items the items that I wish to include is the home, and manage menu. Inside manage menu, there are sub menus: academics, curriculum, teachers, department, and so forth, and their URL, of course. And let me copy everything else inside here and paste over here, like this one. I don't want this one. Let me cut it. So over the student label here, I have said this is our JSON, a simple JSON. All right, it consists of label icon and URL. Label icon, and if you don't have any URL, then you have go to another items, icon, label, and URL. Right? Very simple and straightforward. And let me say that I need to go to students. This is the thing, the error. Now, so we define a menu. So here I can say menu, but I have to import the menu. Import menu from templates. Oops. Templates / menu. Let me save it, and I have to make sure that I have export menu before importing. Yes, I don't have so modules exports. Oops. I have to copy and paste. I can copy and paste. Or just you can say easily export default menu. So once I export, I can import it. Yes, I have imported, and let me save it. And before writing this URL, let me remove it from it for your understanding, and let me run only this for development purpose. npm start. You can say start. Wait a minute. It downloads it. What's going on here? I think the importing statement. Okay, I don't have to. This is a JSON file. What about now? Okay, I think everything is fine. You see, this is our React application with Prime React, and there are things here. If you click them, you don't have to. You can't go from anywhere. So I want. When I click this students, I want to go to another React app, and inside here I have to create let us create a folder called components. Inside these components, I need to create another file called students. Students-.js. Now inside this student.js, I need to copy paste something else. The first thing is the table. So this is the students.js. So from here I need the student function. I will show you by simply not very simple, straight and forward. Now I have defined a function called students, and here the students, there is empty student, and it has an ID of null and a name. I don't want this one also. The student has, as we earlier told, it has first, like we did on the model, middle underscore name, last name, and the other thing is string. I think so. So this is our string empty student, and let me go to the return side. Now the first thing is to define a data table. Just let me copy it and paste it in here. I said that I need a data table. The reference is DT and the value is student of list, and the stripped rows, header is students, the footer is some kinds of footer will be there. Okay, we can't define, and there is a responsive layer is scroll, selection model is string, single, selection is selected student. It is as I will explain this here. Okay, now once you define this one, I have to import the data table from Prime React. Let me go up here, and data table and column and these things. I think doesn't matter if I import everything else here, and I'll tell you what is required and not. Paste it here. I have used only data table and column around here. How many columns I have? I have field name, but I have many. First name is just first name, and the other thing, by the way, you can see the Prime React how to create such a kind of things. It's very simple and straightforward. Last, this one is middle, I think. And this is last. 3 columns. The last column will be, I think it is 6. And let me save it, okay? Now once we define these columns, and the remaining thing is where is the students list come from. It comes from the server, of course, and let me use this kind of code. Copy it and here let me paste it. So I have defined the student list and set the student list. Alright, so and we will use this user state, and we want from the students. Okay, and make sure that we grab the response of data.data.students, because we say that like this one, and we have defined student list. And the other thing is selected student. It's just for a selection purpose. Okay, this is our selected student for selection purpose. If you remember that we can edit and update in the by clicking in the row, the data will represent from this way. Just selection mode single and selection student, selection selected student. And the other thing is that's all. Let us see the behavior of this one. Okay, once we define the data table, and let us I haven't refer this one data table. I think it will be up and running. Finally, let me export it. Let me save, close it, and go to app.js, into app.js, and defining router by using this thing. Let me copy, and from this app, you see I defined a browser router, and the class name is app and routers. And when we say slash, it directly to home, and when there is something else slash students, go to the students component, and I have to import the student component here. User state is called, okay, this must be uppercase. Okay, and so now we will come back later also on this one, and we have used data tables and columns. I have removed some kind of thing over here, and let us go to our React app and click students. It doesn't appear, so that as I've already told you that when you go to app, when something else starts with students, it should go to our student component in here. Okay, so in app menu, in student semicolon URL, and we should say that this should be okay. Let us check. You see there is a students, nothing else, and it has to render. I think we say that students, right? So it should appear this thing. Should I make this one? Okay. think yes, it has worked. So the uppercase should be, the component name should start with uppercase. Okay, and now when we go to students, this table has been appeared. Now we need that button around here, the new button, and to create that one, I'm going to copy something else, and to do that we will use a toolbar, and we need actually the left and the right one, and these three things. So in the student component, and around here, let me paste these two things. I have left contents, right contents. There is export, and export CSV will be called by dt.current.export CV, and there is a new button, and automatically when you click that button, something should appear. Let me close this one, and we have two things around here, and we can use toolbar to organize them. And above, on the top of the data table here, here I call toolbar. Oops, what's wrong with this? Okay, div, everything should be inside a div, and there is no two root divs. Lord, I think it doesn't. So cut it and paste it. I think everything works perfectly. Now we have defined our toolbar. The toolbar is on the top of the page after the menu, and toolbar is left corner and the right corner over here. Let me save it and go here. As you can see, we have the toolbar. See, new, there is nothing else is up here. So we have to define a dialog that will pop up here. So to develop a dialog, go around here, and at the below of the data table, we have to define the div, like here, around here, paste here, and format document, merge student. It's depends on the show save dialog attribute, and go over here, and define the show attribute, show save dialog attribute, show save dialog attribute here by using it is false currently. False now currently. Then there is width, and there is a dialog footer. The footer has a save, this one, copy it, and copy, and it has two buttons, save and cancel. On save, we have to save the department, and we will the student. Let me remove it for now, the operation we will define later on. Save it, also on a hide, let me copy again the hide one, where is it, the hide one? Okay, this is the hide one, our Visual Studio, and here the hide save dialog, and I don't want this one things. So whenever we close the dialog or the modal, it's called the save show hide save dialog. And there is a name, input text name ID, and select the student.name, on change that name. So on input change, there is a function on input change. Yes. Where is it in some details? Okay, now it has go to the toolbar button to the left corner, and here we say that on click and show save dialog will be called. Now let me refresh it. Okay, click. It happens here. Okay, I haven't defined the shows or open the dialog, save dialog. Here, open save dialog. Now we selected is empty, submitted is false. Nah, I don't want this one. Or let me say open new, because I will later use for something else. Let me comment this one. Now it should, the dialog should appear. Click it, image, refresh it. That's wrong. Okay, I haven't called it. Here, open new. Now it should work perfectly. As you can see, it appears like here student name is required. I think we have several things around here on the dialog. Paste it in the name. Middle name. It is, I think, first name. First name. Again, this should be first name, and for middle name, and then this is also middle name, right? And I'll come back later. So here, let us go to here and click this one. Oh, there is a error say camis around here. because in here I have to define is submitted variable. Go here and here const and false and set submitted, and here is submitted here. Now this will be true when the user clicks save button. You mean that the footer of the footer of save dialog footer, when it clicks else, and unless it should not be appear, and so here if submitted, right, is submitted end. So let me copy this submitted and paste around here. Okay, click this one. Now it should be appear like this. Now I haven't defined these two things. Cancel is the same as this hide thing. So in the hide one, I have to set submitted is always to false. I have to reset to the default, and let us do the save dialog save button. So for saving, I have already written some kind of code here. So after we show the user that dialog and click the save button, which is in here, this one on the top of one, on the top of here, save student is submitted now true, and if it is create new and save are different, so I have to define also another variable, because the save button will handle for editing and creation and addition. So that here create new, set create new. I've defined this one. This is false. Now if it is create new, now by using Axios, I have imported over the top of our file Axios.post 8080 student/new. We have defined this one in previous one, and the selected student will be created, okay, once it's saved as a selected student. Then the response, if the response is 201, then we have to push over on the student list of that data, the response data, and we call hide save dialog, and we will use toast to show some kinds of success. And I haven't defined a toast so far, and let me define as toast to display some kinds of things around here. I have already imported it. A toast is used to display some kind of message on the top of the corner, on the right of the corner. I think it is around here. Sorry for looking for lazily, and here I'm going to paste this thing, toast. Now we have referring that toast, and in here around the return, go to the return and define your toast. On the top of the toolbar, yes, like this. Okay, and there is no find by index by ID, which is found in the save student thing. I don't want it right now. I will show you later on. Now this is it works perfectly, I think. Yes, good. Now save student haven't been called, so in the left, the footer of our dialog, on the bottom of save, and I'm going to create on click, and now save student will be called. And when we click the cancel button, go over here and say on click and hide save dialog. Right, I made some change. Should be like this. All right. Okay, and now run it. What's going around? It should appear. Okay, I think I made a mistake. Good. Input text is not defined, it says that, but I have used. Okay, there are several IDs around here, that's why it said input text. You see, now this is for middle underscore name, and the ID is middle underscore name, and the label is for last name. Last name, and I think it's very easy. You can go to and refer the manual of Prime React. It works. So when you see this one, you will have such a kind of dialog. When you type, oops, it doesn't work. Okay, so for typing, we need to define the previous onChange thing. So in each input text, after this required, just type this onChange name. And this is onChange is for what? Middle name, middle underscore name, and again here for last underscore name, and before request, and this will be X. Okay. Okay, onChange input and change is not defined. Copy it. It is available on that Prime thing. Okay. Now go. Refresh it back to the students and hit click. Now you can type. What's wrong with this? Okay, look. here to write some kind of code, you need to define your input text as similar to, you must have to similar make it. The previous one I have set it as a name, but it doesn't accept any input. If you do not set the name similar to your JSON file, which is npt student file. Now let us check it. Go to here, students, and click new, and let me write my child name. He's a male, man. And click save. Whoops, something's wrong. Okay, we don't have initiate our server. Okay, that's why. So here the client is up and running, and we have to start up our server also. cd -- cd to the server. Now node index.js. Now it is up on port 8080. Go here and go to department. So sorry for this one. Hit enter. Now it's a oops, again let me fix it. The is because const student, I said that the uppercase is student, but this const should have to call save method. So let us run. Let me cut, let me rerun again, and now I am on the React app, and students new, and I have to say AA BB CC and DD, and click save. Of course it has been saved. Now you can read how to edit, delete on this thing. It's fairly easy. You have to import some kind of you have to add some kind of dialog for editing and deletion. I hope this video is useful for you, and don't forget to subscribe until I get you in another video. Goodbye.